It was stated by the vice captain of the Black Bulls, Noct Faust, that if Asta had mastered Devil Union, he would be the strongest. And now he has Devil Union and actually achieved something that both Julius, the current Wizard King, and Lumiere, the first Wizard King, could neither achieve. Slaying an ancient demon all by himself. When you pair the statement from Noct with Asta's feat, it all but confirms that Asta has surpassed captain level and his power is in the rightful tier of Wizard King. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Broku. Today we're talking about Asta and him being Wizard King level finally. But first, I gotta say, we've approached the point in time where magic and science are one and the same. If you want to become the king, but have a dark past, you might want to get in touch with NordVPN and consider their services. You can use my code down below, Broku. VPNs are simply the way of the future. At some point, they'll be like cell phones. Everybody will have one. Except you won't have to argue about it, as you just pick how long you want to have the service, and then kazam! Your information is protected, and you can freely roam the internet. It is magic, NordVPN magic. NordVPN can be used to secure your own user data from the thieves guilds that attempt to steal and sell your information to others without you even knowing about it. They can even use this information to steal your identity, or worse, blackmail you. NordVPN is the barrier protection spell that sends those heretics back to whence they came. NordVPN can be used on multiple devices to protect you: computer, laptop, phones, and more. But NordVPN isn't just about keeping your private information private. It's also about the magical phrase of freedom. With NordVPN, you can view entertainment from other kingdoms and explore the internet of forbidden lands safely. There are other kingdoms where they have TV shows that they only want people from their kingdom to watch. But go down below, click the link and use code Broku and activate your invisibility spell so you can view geographically locked content. Thanks NordVPN so much for the sponsorship. Again, link down below and in the pinned comment. And thanks for coming back to the channel. Thanks for all the subscriptions, all the support. It means a lot. Let's shoot for 1,500 likes for this video. You can also follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, and turn on notifications. With that being said, let's get into Asta being Wizard King level. So Asta has finally achieved his full devil form. God, I remember back in the good old days when we used to call Asta's black form partial demon Asta or half demon Asta. And we would always theorize about what the black form would look like. Man, we really have come a long way. And it's great because it feels like we are all on the journey together with Asta. And that's why I think Tabata is such a great mangaka. This whole series is the path of Asta trying to become the Wizard King despite his obstacles. Being a magicless peasant to now being accused as a devil user, which has tarnished his name and reputation. But I think what happened just chapters ago in the Black Clover manga will prove multiple things. That Asta's reputation will be brought back from the brink, as he saved the citizens from an ancient demon, just like the first Wizard King did 500 years ago. I mean, this isn't just him saving the kingdom. This is him paralleling what the first Wizard King did. This is him repeating a legendary tale. But, more importantly, he did it when all the efforts of the Magic Knights failed. Nobles failed. Royals failed. Even the Wizard King failed. But not Asta. Not our magicless peasant devil user. He succeeded and defeated the ancient demon without any difficulty, which is again something that neither Wizard King could do, as Lumiere fought the ancient demon and was only holding his own, only eventually defeating it thanks to the help of Sekre and his magic item, which sucked away a large portion of the ancient demon's mana. With its mana being drained, Lumiere then be able to kill the demon. As for Julius, he fought the ancient demon, and he was able to damage it while he aged himself. Julius was around 24 years to the point when he added his time onto it, though we don't know how close he was to his full power. We know that Julius was 42 at the beginning of the series, and that he was in his 30s when he gave Yami and William captain status when he was himself the Wizard King. While this may not be full power Julius, he had so much help against the beast that it might overcome that possibility of him not actually being full power, as you had Captain Kaiser and his squad take on the ancient demon and attempt to slow him down. There was also Kirsch, the vice captain, with 2 royals installed in Nebra, and still nothing. To add even more insult to injury for Julius, he was fighting a nerfed ancient demon, as Damnatio Kira was using his scale to massively weaken the beast. And yet, despite the demon being heavily nerfed, Julius still couldn't defeat the demon with all of this help. But what about Asta? He rushes into battle to save Julius, activates his Devil Union, and then proceeds to defeat the ancient demon without difficulty, destroying its attack that was going to wipe out the Clover Kingdom, cutting his hand open, cutting his arm off, and then even slicing him in half, killing him. This is a pretty impressive feat that people will love to try and downplay, that because Asta has anti-magic, this means it's the only reason that Asta won. I don't think this is a very fair statement. All of Asta's opponents have magic. It is blatantly stated in Black Clover that magic is everything. The fact that he is able to defeat this immense being of bottomless magic doesn't take anything away from Asta just because he has anti-magic. In fact, just based on how big the ancient demon's body is, it makes it impressive that he could kill it because the body is larger than mountains and was effortlessly sliced by the sword, and that body is physical. Also, the more mana one has, the faster they will be, and the ancient demon had a stupendous amount of magic, and yet Asta was still far faster than it, as the ancient demon even failed to react to Asta's final blow. So we have Lumiere, who would have lost to an ancient demon if not for help, and then Julius losing to an ancient demon with help. And then Asta defeating an ancient demon by himself with no effort. You can also argue that this isn't even Asta at his full power, since anti-magic runs through his sword, so if he was wielding another sword besides just the Demon Slayer, he would have even more anti-magic power. Though he is combined with Libe, so we don't necessarily know how exactly it will work. Now many people will try to downplay Asta and say, well, that was Lumiere who went against a much stronger ancient demon, as the ancient demon was the basis of Licht, the most powerful elf, and the power of all of the magic stones combined. But this is actually a misnomer. Licht didn't have his mana left anymore when he turned into an ancient demon, as he was filled with a tremendous amount of negative mana from the magic stone. Remember, it was the human royals who stole the mana from the elves to have their own power. Now, what Licht would do is take the negative mana from the magic stones and imbue himself with negative mana so he could turn himself to an ancient demon, so that Zagred would not have his body and full power Zagred would not come into the world. But it is important to note that it is actually stated that Licht only used a single magic stone. Zagred states this. He says it's the use of a magic stone, not magic stones. So the ancient demon that Lumiere fought, it wasn't a full power Licht who used all the magic stones. It was a Licht who just had his mana drained, and then used a single magic stone to turn himself into the ancient demon, thus vastly weakening the degree of power. Whereas the two ancient demons in the current story are Spade Royals with immense magic power, and became ancient demons. They very well may have become demons from the same magic stone that Yuno uses, as it was founded by the Spade soldiers in the magic region near the Spade Kingdom. They are so strong that even in their base power, post-timeskip Fulgolion is incredibly scared of their power. I'm talking about the base ancient demon's power. And Marielena couldn't even defeat a base version of the ancient demon with their own regular power, despite training for over 6 months and even bathing in the magma of the strong magic region volcano. But she surpassed her limits with a new power and a form that uses Hellfire. And even though this allowed her to fight the ancient demon quite well, she still struggled to even defeat it. And then when it got back up from being knocked down, it got a new power. It even surpassed its limits even further as it grew wings. These wings were connected to the underworld and it drew power from it, and it gave it more mana, making it far stronger. If Asta, while not going all out, can easily defeat the full power ancient demon, whereas a limit surpassed Miro Leona couldn't fully defeat a base ancient demon without wings, that shows that he is far stronger than that of captain level. Again, this is also all backed up when you include the information that Nox said that a Devil Union Asta would be the strongest. He also thought that Asta would be able to stop Lilith and Nama, who are incredibly powerful devils that scale far above Sigrid, 80% Dante, and even a limit surpassed Jack. As remember, Jack was doing incredibly well against an 80% Dante who was even stronger than the one that Yami fought because of Morris's recovery magic. But Lilith and Nama showed up, and just a casual attack from Lilith completely knocked back Jack and bypassed his durability of his blades. So that shows that these devils are vastly superior to an 80% Dante who is stronger than the one that Yami fought, and yet Asta is thought to have been able to defeat them according to Nox. It just keeps showing that Asta scales so highly above captains. I mean, he would scale so much higher than even above Yami now. As just Devil Arm Asta, while stamina depraved, was relative to Yami. Asta at full stamina, after training with Noct, and then using Devil Union, would be such a huge boost in power, he would scale above Yami, it shouldn't even be close. One thing I also do want to mention is that when we bring up Julius's power, he might actually have been at full power despite only being 24, because Julius even himself said that he would bring about his full power to save the kingdom. Though it might not have been his true full power, maybe Julius was rushed back into advancing his age, and thus this isn't his full power. Maybe if he had gotten to 30, it would be his full power. Either way, Asta defeated a true full power ancient demon easily when one of the strongest captains couldn't defeat a one without wings. And he can defeat devils that one of the strongest captains was getting tossed around by like a toy. It also is important to add that Asta has already surpassed a version of the Wizard King Lumiere, the statue. As if you go back, that statue version of Lumiere fought alongside Licht against Zegred. Now this was actually a not even close to full power Zegred. He would keep unveiling more and more and more power, and this is stated by Charlotte that he would finally get to his full power and start spamming spells. He would have mouths around his body, so he would be trying harder and using more mana, and Asta and Yuno fought that version, not Lumiere and Licht. So Asta and Yuno have a better feat of fighting a stronger version of Zegred and being able to actually do similar stuff to what Lumiere and Licht did. Now, beyond that, Asta would break his limits, then train for 6 months, enhance his black state to where he can just casually use much bigger and stronger black dividers. Then he gets like the Berserk form, then he gets the Devil Arm contract form, and then he gets now Devil Union. He is so high above that old version of himself that already scales to that version of Lumiere. Now, that version of Lumiere, the statue version, I would say is still probably weaker than the Prime one, but the fact that Asta is so vastly above that, and now has feats that are essentially greater, if you just look at lore. Now again, it does kind of stem from, are the ancient demons similar in power, which I think would make sense. A lot of the misnomer is that people say it's the strongest elf with all the magic stones, when it's basically a mana-less elf with a single magic stone. And just going by that logic, you might even be able to argue that the ancient demons from the Spade Kingdom are even stronger, because you would assume they would still have magic. Well, Licht didn't have mana. He had tremendous negative mana from a magic stone. Whereas the royals from the Spade Kingdom would be taking in the negative mana from a magic stone with their own high amount of mana of them being royals. So you could even possibly argue that these royals are even stronger than the ancient demon that Licht was. Also, you could also argue, and the reason why I think it's fair to compare Miriona's ancient demon to Asta's, the one that he fought, because these were two Spade royals that fought each other. They were essentially rivals, and they were both sealed away. Basically, on every way it's written, they should be very close to each other in power. So overall, I think that this definitely puts Asta at Wizard King level. He's far above Captain level now. I mean, he kind of has been for a while at Captain level, but now he's just so far above everybody because of Devil Union that it's just not even funny. And like I said, he's probably not even close to his full power. He can bring out the other swords. He's not even using all of his abilities. Might even push his limits even further, because remember, he has the 5-leaf Clover Grimoire. 4-leaf Clover Grimoire people advance faster because of the luck. Technically, he would still have the luck, which means he can advance even further and faster than everybody else and break his limits. So, that being said, Asta is definitely Wizard King level. And so, don't forget, check out the link down below, code BROKU for NordVPN. And also, leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, join my Discord. Let's shoot for 1,500 likes. That'd be very much appreciated. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...